For y'all get all hot and bothered, please don't inbox me. I know this shit makes you wet. Look, not even ego. What I'm saying about that is, this is good sex right here, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that. What I mean by that is, we think of it as with another person most times first and foremost, and you hear that word, but it's got to happen within first, I mean? That intellect, that logical part, and then the intuitive nature that you have comes together and creates. You know what I mean? That's what it is to be an artist. Technical skills. Anybody with focus who can sit in a class or whatever can learn to do certain techniques of drawing. You know what I'm saying? And then the flip side of that is to have the ability to hear. It's the senses, the five senses. Yin and yang, inside and out. I heard Pilot Man today. He sparked this back up for me, in my mind. But yeah, he's right. You know what I'm saying about that? About one side, the tasting and the smelling and the feeling, but the senses are also internal when you hear messages come through. You know what I'm saying? When you can smell uh, danger or good nookie around the corner. You can smell a good deal, or you can feel out a situation. You know what I mean? So when those two aspects are allowed to do what they do, you know what I'm saying? We fight it all the time within ourselves to just embrace it. You know what I'm saying? The light and the dark, they both have things to show you, and they're a part of you. So it's imperative that that's balanced in order for you to gain the clarity of purpose. I'm gonna draw a little bit. Don't worry about it. I got y'all. And there's a trust that comes with it, because what I did was just put the paint down, streaks and all that. I kind of had the image, you know what I mean? Sketched it out a little bit, but I didn't know it was going to turn out like this. You really never know, and I got to give a shout out to my man B, because he told me that the other night. He was right. I already knew it, but he was just, he brought up a point that I think needs to be highlighted. You never really know, and that's how it should be. You don't want, where's the growth and the learning in the process of knowing the whole thing? You know what I'm saying? There's no trial and error. And I'll give you a good example. I was walking down the street, and I just look at nature. I don't look at cars and shit. No, I look at birds. I look at the sky. I look at natural things. I keep my attention there. And across the street, we got the gated communities, whatnot, and the grass is perfect. There's no weeds. There's no wildflowers. No dandelions. But if you come across the street in my yard, we got everything under the motherfucking sun growing out this bitch, right? And I thought about it because a lot of people look at the surface of things. They would say, "Oh, that side is beautiful. I'd rather have that. It's already managed. You don't have to put no work in." But on my side, it's like you got to get your hands dirty. You got to. I can't wait to show pictures of this fairy garden, but you got to put this energy into it, and the energy has to have an intent. When you're pulling up those weeds. And this is how I train. This is how I do my martial training. I don't go to the dojo to train. I go to the dojo to teach. You know what I'm saying? That's my downtime outside of the dojo, because these teachings that you get are supposed to translate in your life, not just in one place. It's supposed to translate and filter in through all aspects of your life. You're supposed to live your art, you know what I'm saying? And how you translate it and how you perceive it, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm gonna show some more hot shit because it's going to be a longer video of what's going on. But these are, people I've been in touch with. This is an intuitive drawing that a friend of mine, One Feather. I just say that I don't want to give out nobody's names without permission, but she's like a mentor, mother, guide, priestess that I know down there in Atlanta, and we get to talking. And she tells me her visions, and I translate her visions through color and lines, and we come up with these beautiful concepts. So even in that aspect, and it could be male too. It doesn't matter that, you know. that is not the important part. The important part is the creation because, like I said, it happens within first. So that feminine is still present. You know what I'm saying? It's still present. Even with these, every picture you have has a story to it, or I believe it should. It should be something that imprints. And I think that when you're in spirit, your experience and your wisdom goes into these pictures, and somebody views it, they feel it because of how real it is. You gotta file, marinate on that real quick. But even out of the worst times, it seems, comes to some of the best things. You know what I mean? If you learn your lesson and then convey the lesson, you know what I mean. This is a fakita. This dolphin down here. It's called a fakita, and friend put me onto this. Told me about the vaquita. It's an extinct race of porpoises down there in the Gulf of Mexico. And you know, me and she put her hands to this too. She put some of her energy onto this as far as the drawing. So it's like a collab right here. And it starts out in pencil first. You know, everything is a sketch for. I like the pencil first because I get these nice little shades in the wings, and it makes it look more natural than having lines and stuff. That eraser is powerful. I'm telling you. And you take these thoughts and emotions and feelings, whether or not a person is honest about them. An intuitive artist will always feel or have insights, get dreams about things that are going on around them. Eric Cooper, this brother, he said, we were just sitting there talking, and I was bored as shit. And usually, he sees that he says something, he throws something out there. I just say, "Fuck it, I draw it," and kind of I went in on this one because I like the concept. We just sat there, we just threw this idea back and forth of how this would be dope, and we kept building. I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna draw it," and I did this. I started this at the Greater Philadelphia Expo, or the show at the Expo Center, and it took about a week all the way through because of I had to research the characters. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to I got a little bit of the Marvel, cinematic, the real shit as far as the actors, and then I got a little bit of the cartoons for the DC characters because I love their cartoons. You know what I mean? And just gave them a little bit of feel. I would consider these the kings and the queens. You know what I'm saying? And these are the generals and all that. That's why I didn't have any big pieces on the board like that. These are just the minions and shit. But um, even this one, I started. Then I started, a little bit here. Then I started coloring it in just a little bit, just to see what the overall feel was. And if I went back and did this would be 30 times better because of knowing where everything is now. You know what I'm saying? And but the first one is always the best one, in my opinion. First is always the best. Think about the first time you were in love. Think of first time you saw something that you still find pleasing or heard something pleasing. You know what I'm saying? That song that you heard at the first dance or the first time you danced with a chick you really liked or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Those imprints come through in art. You know what I'm saying? You got vibrations. You can get them in colors. You can get them through sound. And this is your Christ energy. It comes through all of us if we allow it to. We are our own saviors. You know, the artwork that I'm doing now, outside of this, a lot more personal, a lot more geared towards the journey. You know what I'm saying? But along the way, I like to help other people get their vision. Because this goes into the subconscious. When you see this, it's imprinted as an image. Images are powerful, and it gives you depending on the picture, it can give you a confidence. It can give you a motivation, a fond memory, a bad memory. You know what I'm saying? And even with that, you hang it up, you face it until the picture no longer needs to be in the wall. You'll tell it'll fall off the wall. That's how spirit works. You know what I mean? When time comes for certain things to leave your life, it's going to leave one way or the other. You know what I mean? But just have to be ready to accept that change and be willing to grow. Like, I don't know what is next as far as what I want to do with this pen, but I'm just going to go around the board a little bit and feel it out. You know what I mean? The logical part is done as far as collecting the information of what motorcycles look like, playing with angles, and then after that, applying the colors, and then letting everything else just kind of fall into its own place. You know, a story should tell itself. You're not the author, really. You're the translator. You feel what I'm saying? In that context, and that's why I never take full credit for my work. I say commissioned by spirit. I was commissioned by spirit. That's why I came down. You know what I'm saying? You got to know who you are. You got to feel your purpose with certainty. You know, spirit said, "Yo, you want to go on down here and throw some hot shit up? You know, just be creative as fuck. We're gonna make sure that you get the lessons, the hard lessons throughout your life that you can grow from, so you can do this shit, so you have a better understanding of what it is to be human, and you know what I mean, graduate to a degree that's higher than what you've been told was possible or available, and start creating something that's totally outside of that box." You know what I mean? So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm not gonna kill this because I want to take, I'm gonna take my time with it in a certain context, because I'm gonna do another layer of another medium on top of this. So I want to make sure this is proper, because that'll be the last stage, is the chalk marker medium. I like to mix the mediums, just like mixing the arts. And that's the thing, they're not separate. Nothing is separate. It's just an illusion of separateness, you know what I mean? So that being said, yeah, I'm gonna go in on this shit right here. Yeah. That being said, uh, be mindful of your journey, your purpose, your focus, where your attention is going. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? We'll holla. We'll chop it up later, right? Deuce.